Good evening, everybody. Rod Baker here with Sunday Funday with Dad, and this is Dad.
Bad Dad is my hip hop name.
That's more than your hip hop name, trust me. Anyway, tonight we're going to come to you, and in case you're not aware, what we do here is we try to simplify the spirituality of recovery. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the spiritual principles and promises of recovery is that we would know peace. The word serenity, we would comprehend the word serenity and we would know peace. And that's one of the promises. And I know that biblically that's also the destination is peace. You know, for Jesus left us his peace, and there are many references to the word peace. Tonight, what I'd like to talk about, Dad, is the kind of peace that passeth understanding. I'm not talking about on a huge, deep spiritual level. I'm talking about the everyday peace, the everyday serenity. And so if you don't mind, let's start off with what gives you an everyday common serenity?
Well, first, I'll look at the definition of peace.
Okay.
To me, the way I define peace is total rest, total satisfaction, a total relaxation, total well-being, body, soul, and spirit. Just everything is fine, and you have peace. What gives me peace is knowing that everything's okay. It doesn't matter what happens in the world, it's going to be okay, because there's somebody in charge. My higher power is in charge of all this. And he has promised me nothing but good. One of the promises you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
He's promised us nothing but good. People make things bad.
Make them difficult, don't they?
Make it difficult.
Right.
So, but my confidence in him being able to solve all those problems, and sometimes he uses me to do it, sometimes he uses somebody else to do it, but I am in total confidence that everything is okay, and that gives me peace.
So the word serenity to you, the action of daily serenity to you, comes from your belief that God will take care of it no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
the majority of us. You know, due to the fact of the last few years of the physical difficulties that I personally have overcome, and you know, you've been right there with me, watching me and being a part of the healing process of that. I must say, I find my peace in knowing that I'm not finished yet. That and I think we've talked about this before, that it's not complete, that there's still things to do. Now, the minute that I don't have things to do is the minute that I start beginning to be concerned, not fearful, not fretful, but concerned, because it's almost like a lack of purpose for me. I find my peace in my purpose. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. A lot of sense. Of course, when you don't have a purpose, everything gives you peace.
Well, it's a good thing we got purpose.
Yeah, so purpose is peaceful.
Yes. So one of the things about being clean and sober, one of the things about living a life of serenity, living a life, is practicing that peace in my purpose. And something that I haven't really, or that I did not grasp until the last couple of years, is part of that takes rest. Now, there were times in my life that there were the mean times, the in-between times. And I liked calling it the mean time because it was meaningful. It was an in-between, it was a change evolving. And so one of the things in my writings of late is I recognize a lot of the commonalities in my mean times before, because there's always been difficulties. There's always been suffering in my life. I was telling somebody the other day, I wouldn't recognize not suffering. I wouldn't recognize suffering.
Yeah, but your mother's cooking wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
she's a better cook than that.
Oh, yeah, it was. It wasn't bad. However, the life sufferings, if that's what you know, it's all you know. And so thus it becomes such a part of life. Just as much as the peaceful times or the meaningful times after the suffering. So one of those things that, one of those times that you've recognized where you had peace in the suffering, can you tell me about that?
Well, there's two types of peace.
Mm.
There's natural peace, where you're in your home and everything's quiet, nobody's intruding, and all the bills are paid, and
Pistols loaded.
no wolves at the door. Yeah. And then there's divine peace. Now, natural peace, men can come into your house, intrude your house, and take your goods and
Disrupt your peace.
your peace.
Yeah.
Divine peace, they can't.
They can't take that
They
peace.
can't take divine
Wow.
peace.
That is a serenity.
That is a serenity.
Amen.
So you have to find peace, okay? Because it was left with us. Divine peace,
Right.
was left.
Okay.
Okay. In the book I study, it says, "My peace I leave with you." He left it.
Okay.
My higher power.
That divine peace.
Divine peace.
Yeah.
I'll leave with you. Well, once he leaves it with you, you have to find it. He's given it to us. It's ours to have, but we have to find it. He's left it. And many people don't find it. They don't know what they're looking for.
That's a great point.
And
And I've noticed there are some people who find it, who it really screws up their other piece. Have you noticed that?
well, it's hard to pass understanding. You can't understand it. So that's where they get confused, is they just can't understand it, and they fear it.
That's a good point. And so then that disrupts the divine peace
Yes.
altogether.
Yes.
Then it's like starting over, like it's a giant turkey jerk.
Well, it's kind of like a Wolverine the gunny sack.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
Honey badger.
But you can't trust peace like the world gives. For instance, the Nobel Peace Prize. Donald Trump, in the last 9 months, has settled peace all over the world, and they give it to some woman who didn't kill her husband. You know? So you can't trust peace in
To
the
some
world.
people, that can be divine peace that caused that. I can understand. So, where I have found my divine peace, because I found my divine peace, and where I found it was in that purposefulness of recovery. There is a true peacefulness in that purposefulness. Even if I'm not purposely helping others, that divine peace seems to spread anyway. And then and let's call that serenity. Let's call that divine peace serenity. And then the worldly peace. It's the kind of peace that you get knowing that, like you said, you're in your house is secure, it's not falling apart. You've got you've got a good roof on it, which, as a matter of fact, gets us to our sponsor tonight. Our sponsor's dynamic Roofing and Construction. They are our sponsor. I know it.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. These guys will give you peace about your roof and your construction needs. You give them a call at 405-738-7118 and tell them Rod Baker had you call them. And I guarantee you they'll make me come out with them to see your roof and inspect your roof. Free inspection, free estimates, everything.
I didn't know we had a sponsor.
Yeah, we got.
I'd have gone over and tore some shingles off.
You don't need to.
Oh.
Fret not. You don't need to do that. So, but that's the kind of thing, having somebody, it's like having a lawyer on retainer. You know, fortunately, I've had a lawyer on retainer. Not that I've needed that lawyer as much as I have in my past. When I
As much being an awfully word.
As much. But having that lawyer on retainer there gives me a certain peace. With some people, it may be having firearms. It may be having property.
Well, Don Head had his bail bond was number tattooed on his wrist. He didn't ever want to forget his bond.
There's a piece for Don Head right there. Having his bail bond right there. Operator, can you trace this number and tell me where I am? I've been there. So what is it that gives you the earthly peace?
Well, the earthly peace is what you say is you're fulfilling your purpose. We have a purpose to work. Okay? It was cursed upon us from the origin of the universe. We were commanded to work by the sweat of our brow. We'd earn our living, so to say.
Right.
So knowing that you're doing those things and accomplishing what has to be done gives you an earthly peace. You come home from work at night, you're tired, and you sit in your recliner, and your wife fixes dinner and comes and brings you a plate on a TV tray, and you doze off, and she doesn't bother you. That's peace. You know?
Good point.
But then the next morning, you go out in the driveway and the banker's repossessed your car.
All of a sudden, peace
All
is
his
gone.
Yeah, so, no, just knowing you're doing everyday obligations gives me a peace that we're able to do that.
Yeah, the worldly peace.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how whether it be the divine peace or divine serenity or the worldly peace, both of them involve others. Have you noticed that?
Well, if it wasn't for others, you'd have peace. It's the others that disturb your peace.
Now you're talking about me.
Well, not particularly.
Well, you're talking about me not wanting others around, that's for sure. But you're right. You're right. Without others, it seems like we would just have peace.
Yeah. Some people would be lonesome, but I wouldn't.
No, neither am I.
I learned to dance by myself.
Amen. And like my partner. However, that is not, that's not the deal. That's not what we have in our lives.
You mean there's going to be people?
There are people. Sorry to say it, but Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. Your birthday just happened. Dad just had a birthday. So, you know, there are things that are going to involve people that make us continually find our peace, and though serenity stays with us always once we find it, it does. It stays with us always. I think it's that division of peace and serenity that you talk about. We continue to be reminded of that, of peace. I'm in a constant place of serenity. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's getting into the divine peace when you're in a constant state of serenity.
Yes.
Because nothing can, until you found that divine serenity, One of the things you have to do is make a decision.
Ah,
There's multitudes in the valley of decision. And that decision is nothing that's going to take your peace. You have that peace that was left with you. You have it.
that serenity.
That serenity, and you're not going to let anything disturb it.
Amen.
Nothing. And once you make that decision, it's pretty difficult for anything to take your peace.
Yes.
But you have to make the decision. You're just not going to let it happen. Or you're not going to let people's politics upset you. You're not going to let interracial marriage upset you.
Or physical affairs, physical things.
Yeah.
You're not going to let that
You're not gonna
disturb
let it
your
disturb
serenity.
you, because it has nothing to do with you.
Absolutely.
And many people get upset about things that don't concern them.
True. I noticed with the lung situation that I had, it affects me just as much as the neck situation, but it still doesn't take my serenity away. There are times it takes my peace away, knowing that I have to do things differently now. That can disturb my peace, but it doesn't take my serenity. And I find that amazing. I find that divine serenity, having found that, I don't lose that.
Well, there again, you get to beyond understanding, passes understanding.
Good point.
It's difficult for you to understand how you can be so peaceful in an unpeaceful situation.
It is.
You don't realize how can I be this peaceful? What's wrong with me? You know?
Really, that's what you find yourself
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I've been there several times.
Why isn't this serenity leaving me?
Yeah,
Why am I not panicking here? Yes, I understand that.
But that's divine peace. Once you find divine peace, it doesn't take it away from you.
Yeah, that's true.
It just can't take it.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
It's like if you were the richest man in the world and a judge finds you $1,000. Okay.
All right.
Elon Musk, we find you $10,000. Okay. That's what it's like when they try to take divine peace from me.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Good point. Well said. Anything else?
Well, yes, but we can wait till next week.
Okay, we'll do that. Don't forget, on 10 o'clock on Wednesday, Dad does his Bible study, Meat of the Matter. So if you get a chance, please watch that. It's a very good teaching. Dad's been doing a long time. I'm a product of some of that teaching, actually.
Well, and since I had a birthday, we call it Wednesday with Ben Gay.
Did you say Ben Gay?
Ben Gay.
How long?
Oh, several years. It's dark in that closet.
That's it. That's it.
Good night. God bless you.
God bless you. Amen.